What is going on, guys? What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video. This is not going to be a highly edited video, as I'm going to have to be using my webcam for this video because my phone will not charge for whatever reason. So it's just dying. It's been on the charger for about an hour and it's been losing percentage. So I don't know what's going on. So I wasn't able to make the video you guys are usually expecting with the editing and all that stuff. But I did want to go over the recent moves that the New York Giants have made. And, we could talk about Austin Johnson a little bit. The Giants go ahead and re-sign Austin Johnson for some depth. I'm completely okay with that. I believe we gave him another $2 million. And that speaks volumes after Dalvin Tomlinson was signed to the Minnesota Vikings. So I have a feeling the Giants already knew the writing was on the wall for Dalvin Tomlinson. So they had to make sure they shored up that position with Austin Johnson, who should be filling in at nose tackle. And then the Giants go out and they sign Devontae Booker, former Utah running back, former Broncos and Raiders running back. And, you look into this signing, and yes, although we talked about it a little bit with the Hub and Nate Talks Giants, we talked about that with Devontae Booker. A lot of people are upset that he was overpaid, and I guess I'm 50-50. I'm on the fence about it because although, yes, he was slightly overpaid for a system where we have a top-tier running back and will not have a 1-2 punch or will not have a running back by committee, yes, he was technically overpaid. But at the same time, he's a good option at running back, and he will be an insurance plan for the New York Giants. Although he's getting paid $3 million, if Saquon were to get hurt again, or if he's not the same and they have to split carries together, the $3 million will definitely be worth it. And when it comes to Devontae Booker and his similarities to Wayne Gallman, there was an interesting tweet put out by Justin Pennick of Talking Giants, talking about how the similarities between Devontae Booker and Wayne Gallman were Wayne Gallman was the running back ranked third in least time behind the line of scrimmage, and which is a good stat to have, a really good stat to have. That means you're as soon as you're taking the handoff, you're hitting the hole and you're gone, right? And Devontae Booker ranked first in the NFL in least time taken behind the line of scrimmage. So that speaks volumes, because what did that say? That say that they are very similar in run style. Okay, they find the hole quickly. They don't do too much dancing behind the line of scrimmage. They go ahead and find the hole, decide where they're gonna run, and hit the hole with speed. And so I don't think we're going to be getting a drop-off between Wayne Gallman and Devontae Booker. In fact, I think we'll be getting a slight upgrade. Now, I know Wayne Gallman statistically last season had better stats, but if you look at their statistical seasons altogether, Devontae Booker blows Wayne Gallman out the water. Now, you can argue Wayne Gallman doesn't have the same statistical sort of comparison to Devontae Booker, because Wayne Gallman was never used in the previous regimes, that being the Ben McAdoo era, the Pat Shurmur era, and he was then used with the Joe Judge era because of Saquon Barkley's injury. So you could argue that's the reason, because Wayne Gallman wasn't used. But at the same time, Wayne Gallman hasn't always been the player he was in 2020. You remember that he was infamous for fumbling the ball and dropping the football, and always had a decent yard per carry, but never really wowed you like he did in 2020. So that being said, I feel like Devontae Booker has a lot more experience. Devontae Booker, I think, can run the ball a little better. Although, I think they were drafted around the same year. No, Devontae Booker is from the 2016 season. Devontae Booker has played every single game in his entire career. Go ahead and look at his stats. 16. Okay, no, not every single game. He's missed 3 games in 2017. 16, 13, 16, 16, 16. Okay, so what does that tell you? That this guy is relatively healthy. So talk about an insurance plan for the New York Giants, getting him for $3 million and knowing pretty much a sure fact that he is going to be available should Saquon Barkley go down. Now, we don't know. Anything could happen, but we don't know. He's averaging a exact 4.0 yards per carry in his career. Had his best statistical season as far as yards per carry in 2018. Only had 34 carries for 183 yards, 1 touchdown. but had 5.4 yards per carry in that year. So there's a lot to look forward to with Devontae Booker. In his first year with the Raiders, Josh Jacobs was going through a little bit of an injury period, and Devontae Booker was able to step in and play pretty well. He totaled 3 touchdowns. He had 423 yards on 93 rushes, totaling 4.5 yards a carry. So this guy is a good backup option. Now, are we going to like him better than Wayne Gallman is the question, and we'll see what happens, but I feel like Devontae Booker has a little bit more under his belt than Wayne Gallman as far as, consistency in his career, right? So that being said, I'm okay with the signing. I said I was on the fence about it, that being I don't think this should have been the Giants' first free agent to bring in. I don't think, getting an answer at running back was their number one priority. I don't think they should have done that. If they would have spent these $3 million on Devontae Booker later on, when they have some leftover cap that they can use, then I will be all for it. I don't think Devontae Booker day one was something you want to do for building your team. The video cut out, but that's okay. We're going to continue on. Why we should rescind Leonard Williams' contract. Listen, Leonard Williams obviously is going to want to pay top tier money. We're hearing these reports: $23 million, $25 million, right? That's what he wants. He's not going to get that kind of money. And why would you even franchise tag a guy again if you're not going to come up with a long-term deal? Dave Gettleman has done this one time before with the Carolina Panthers in the Josh Norman situation. Franchise tag Josh Norman. Josh Norman wanted too much money. Dave Gettleman felt like he wasn't worth that money. Wound up rescinding the franchise tag in the same year, within the same couple of days, and let go of Josh Norman. And he was ultimately proven right, because Josh Norman in his Washington days, in his Buffalo days, never got back to his 2015 form. So Dave Gettleman was absolutely right in rescinding his contract when he was told he was wrong for doing that. So if Leonard Williams does not budge and says he wants $23 to $25 million after Shaq Barrett was signed for $17 million, that's a no-go. That is a sign Dave Gettleman needs to get rid of Leonard Williams and rescind that contract and use that money elsewhere. Do you know the amount of leverage we would get with that extra $19 million in the Kenny Golladay bidding war with Jacksonville? Apparently, the New York Giants are in a bidding war with Jacksonville for Kenny Golladay, and the Giants must be finding this money somewhere, right? Because right now they're projected to have only $1 million right now in cap space, just under $1 million, $900,000 right now. And so obviously they know where they're getting this money from. Just imagine how much more leverage you could have if you have an extra $19 million, or maybe they already have the idea of rescinding Leonard Williams' contract, and that's why they're in a bidding war with Kenny Golladay. So you got to think about these things. You don't know if that's what they think is going to happen with Leonard Williams. If they win that bidding war, sayonara Leonard Williams, who knows? But that being said, if the Giants strike out, say the Giants rescind Leonard Williams' contract and they strike out on the Kenny Golladay bidding war, they need to go after Hassan Reddick. Now, I was thinking about making a solo video for this, but I might as well go ahead and put it in this video as the subject kind of aligns together. I think the Giants need to make a strong push for pass rusher Hassan Reddick. This guy is going to be paid decent money for a pass rusher, but not top tier money for a pass rusher. And I think one day he can be a top tier pass rusher. So he had 1 year in which his first year as pass rusher, first year as a full-time pass rusher, totaled 12.5 sacks. I don't care how much games that came in. I know he got 5 of them against the Giants. I don't care where they came from. 12.5 sacks. He was a very, very decent, very good pass rusher last year. He is not going to get paid in free agency as a top-tier pass rusher. You're going to get him for about $12 to $13 million. And if he gets another 12.5 sack season, that money is going to be so worth it. So worth it if you get him for $12 to $13 million per year. And let's see what happens. If the Giants were able to strike gold and get him for that cheap, maybe we restructure his contract next season to make him actually pay what he's worth, right? And that's what I'm willing to risk to get Haason Reddick on this football team. It's very low risk, high reward. The Giants won't be paying him anything, in comparison to top pass rusher money, and he could still have that production. How many times have the Giants have done that? Kyler Fackrell was signed to a $4.5 million deal. If he stood healthy, he was a really good part of the defense. If he stood healthy, he could have had a lot more sacks than he had. And he also had a pick six as well. Marcus Golden, same thing. All right, we're getting these pass rushers for cheap, and we're actually using them to the best of their ability. I believe we can do the same thing with Haason Reddick. This is a Haason Reddick that is so versatile that in his time at Temple, spent time playing cornerback when he first got onto Temple. Instead of playing linebacker, the man was playing cornerback, okay? And played some safety, played some off-ball linebacker, played some pass rusher. He was everywhere. So Haason Reddick to the T matches this Giants defense. So that's why I want the Giants to target if we miss out on Haason Reddick. So that being said, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new, and I'll see you guys in the next video.